Hello everyone, it's Prajwal Pathak this side and watching my YouTube channel pyGuru. Friends, this is the fourth tutorial of our Dots and Boxes game series, and here in this video we are going to implement the two players. Okay, so this game is basically played between two players, and that's what we want to implement in our game so that this can be played using two people or by two people. So for this it's very simple. See, I have two players here stored in a list, and I'll be giving them a name as X and O. You can give any name, A, B, C, D, X, Y, anything. It's just up to you, whatever you want to take. Now I'll start with my first player here. So let's create a variable turn, and we will give it an initial value of 0. Okay, so we know that if the index is 0, our first player will be here. Okay, now let's select our player. So player equals players list, and from this we are just going to get the first index. Okay, so because the value of turn is equal to 0, so that's why we are getting it. Okay, now we are going to create one more variable, next turn. Okay, now next turn will be equal to false initially. When this will become true, what we will do, we will increase turn by 1. Okay, initially it's 0, we will add 1 to it so that our next player will play. Okay, this is what we are going to do. So after setting this up, now we are going to check which player is playing here. Okay, so first of all we have to make sure which player is playing. So we'll just come here, and here where we are checking for C cells. Okay, so let's come here, and currently what we are doing is we are simply just taking the up, right, bottom or left, and we are making just its value equals true. Okay, we are not checking if it's initially is true or false. Okay, if it's false it will become true, otherwise if it's true it will be true. Okay, but this will create a problem for us. Let's say if player has played some chance, so what we can do, we can simply just increase the value of turn by 1, and this will help us to make the next player to work. Okay, so turn equals, let's just do it, turn plus 1, and here we have to give a mod by 2. Okay, because we have two players in our game, and if we don't do it, the value of turn will increase by let's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will go like this, and we know that we will get an index error if we do so. Okay, so that's why we are giving a mod by 2, which is the length of players is 2, so we are giving a mod by 2. So if the value of turn gets 2, on giving mod, it will automatically become 0. Okay, so after the second player, first player will automatically start playing. So player equals, here we are making players equals players turn. Okay, now let's just do this, print player. Okay, so if I just run this game, at first nothing will seem unusual. So if I just select this, if I just click this one, okay, sorry, I'm inside a infinite while loop. Okay, so it will create a problem for me. Let's not print the values, instead let's show it to our game window. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are first of all going to load a font so that we can display text on our game window. Okay, so it's very simple to load a font in pygame. All you have to do is you have to create a font object or a font variable, and here to load a font you have to type pygame dot font dot currently we are going to use a system font that is available on our system. So currently I'm just going to use the cursive font, and I'll be giving the font size as 25 pixels. Okay, so we have loaded font. If you want, you can load your own fonts. If you watched my previous tutorials, there's we have did the same. Okay, now instead of just printing this value, what we are going to do here is that we will display this thing on our game screen. Okay, so we'll be doing like this. Let's say turn ing. Okay, so font don't render, we have this method to display some text on the game screen, and here we are just going to print the value of player, which player is currently playing, just like that. Okay, then we have to pass a value true here, and then the color, let's say I want to pass white here. Okay, and what this will do is this will create an image, and we can break that image on our game screen. So again, the first is the string that you want to show. You cannot pass any integer here, that's why we are putting it inside a f strings. Okay, the second value is an anti-aliasing value. Basically it will give us smoother curves or lines, and then this is the color of the font, okay, of the text. then we can just display it on our screen like this. Win.blit turn img turn img, sorry, and oops, where were we? Okay, so we were here. So turn img, and then we have to give the width and height where we want to display it. So let's do it like this, 0, 0, and let's see if it's visible or not. So we should be getting some output. Okay, so currently X is playing. So if I just click anywhere, see this just keeps changing automatically. Okay, so we have to think of some way by which we can only do it when we click either the up arrow, right arrow, left arrow, or bottom arrow, something like this. Then only we want to change the player. Okay, so for that, what we are going to do is currently we have a variable here next turn. Okay, what we are going to do is we will make this value of next turn if any of these conditions is true. Okay, so let's just make it next turn equals true here. Okay, true, and we are just going to change the player only if the value of next turn is true. So here, let's just put this inside the if else. Again, what I did is, if any of this condition is true, we are just making next turn the value of next turn variable true. Okay, and if the next turn value is true, then only we are going to switch between the players. But once we switch, we will just make the value of next turn back to false. So next turn equals false. So if I just run this now, this should work, but again we will be having a problem. And let's see what is it. Currently X is playing. So if I click here, if I play up, it's switch working, something like this. It's working, but not perfectly. Okay, so it's not perfect. Currently, if I just press any key, this player is switching, though not perfectly. So we have to think of some way so that the player can only switch when I'm pressing up key. Let's say up for this cell. Okay, if I press up key, it should work. If I press right key, it should work. But if I press down key, it should not work because the value of down key is already, or the bottom boundary is already done. Okay. So the player should switch only when I press the left key. So we have to think of some that way. So it's also very easy to implement. What we are going to do is, we are going to check if this value is not true, then only we are going to do it. And we have to type and not like this. Okay, that's all. Similarly for here, we have to type and not and this thing. So what this will do is, if the value of this particular index is false, then it will become true, but if it's true, it will not work. Okay, so that's what I was trying to say there. If the bottom row is already done, we do not have to make it back. Okay, so let's just copy it again and paste it here. So here we have to type and not. So if I just run this again, this should work, but still we get some error. We might get some error. So if I just press up, okay, so it's working perfectly. But if I now press up, left, down arrow, it will not work, because this time it will not switch because all the boundaries are completed. Now I have to move to the next cell in order to make the next layer work. So next. So it's working. But if I press the left key, it will not work. Okay, so this is working perfectly. Now we are just playing we were just showing the next turn of the player. Okay, let's not do it this way. Instead, let's make it look more better. What we are going to do is, we will create a new image, p1img. This image will be simple font or text, font.render, and here we are going to pass currently player 1. Okay, initially we were just printing x and y, then 2, and then the color of your text. So I want to make it blue. This should work. And p2img, and this time I want to make it like this, font dot render, and then here I will type player 2, and again true, and then blue. Okay, but this will be capital blue, so let's make it capital blue color. And the next thing that we want to do is, we are initially just passing the width and height where we want to display our image, but this time I will make it using its rect. You know that every image has a rect in pygame. So if you want to get the rect of your image, you can just type the image name, and we have this method get rect. Okay. Now you can set the position of this image like this: p1 rect dot x, p1 rect dot y. Okay, so p1 rect dot y. So we have to pass two values here, whatever we are setting. So the x value I want to set it like this: 2 into padding, and the y value I want to set it with 15 pixels. Then we have to do the same thing for the p2. So let's make it p2 here. Okay, so p2 rect, and this one should change. p2 img dot get rect. Only the thing that I have to change is this thing. So this will, player 2 will be shown on the right side, so I'll just subtract this thing with minus 2 into padding, and the rest of the things will be same. Okay, now we can just display it on our game screen. So win dot lit p1 img on the p1 rect and p2 img on the p2 rect. So win dot lit p2 img on the p2 rect. Okay, so that's it. It should work now. Let's see. The only problem is this thing is moving quite far. Okay, it's just going out of the window. So instead of making it setting its x value, we can just set its right value. So the right position of our text will be set at this width minus. Yes, so it's looking good. Okay, here we are simply displaying the player 1 and player 2, and we are not showing which player's turn currently is. Okay, it simply is displaying it as a text. So we can do a if check here. If player equal to x, then what we'll do, we'll just draw a line below it so that user can know which player chance currently it is. So player dot pygame dot draw dot line, and here you have to pass the window where you want to draw it, and then the color of the line. So I want to pass it like this, and then you have to pass the initial xy and final xy of your line. So my initial xy will be p1 dot rect dot, p1 rect dot x and p1 rect dot bottom. Okay, dot bottom plus 2, and this is the initial xy, and we have to pass now final xy of our line. So let's pass. So final xy I want to pass it like this: p1 rect dot right, and then I want to pass the same thing here, and here I'm going to pass the thickness of line as 1. Okay, so let's just copy these lines and make it paste it to the else part of. So all the things will be same. Instead of p1 we have to just type p2. So let's just do it, and this will help us to know which player's chance currently is. Okay, so just see, currently the line is below player 1, so this means currently player 1 is playing. So if I just click here, any key, the side will change. Okay, the line will change, so it looks good. Okay, it looks good. Now what I want is, I want to show the box color of player 1 by a different color and box color of player 2 by a different color. So let's just implement this thing. Okay, so we can do it inside check win part, where we are checking the winner. So we can do it like this. Okay, what we will do is, let's, instead of pass here currently we are just checking for winner. Okay, we are just calling ccell.checkWin. Here we will pass our winner of player, let's say player. Okay, so we'll pass for player and check if that player is completing the cell. Okay, so we are just passing the value like this, and now we can check it here in the check win. Let's implement this part. So where was check win? Yes, so it will take an argument winner, and we have passed it as our player. Okay, so if cell.winner, we are just making it true, instead we will just make it like this: cell.winner equals winner. So it will store a value x or o instead of true. Okay, here we can check now further. If winner is equal to x, then we can make the value of cell.color equals, initially we have no argument variable as color. Okay, so we are creating a variable here, cell.color, and we will set its value as green. Okay, so if there's the winner is green, sorry, if the player 1 is the winner, it box will be of green color. The player 2 is the winner. Its box will be of red color. That's it. We will also show a text on the top of our box. So self.text equals font dot render, and here we will pass cell.winner true, and then the color of your font or color of your text like this. Okay, so this is it. Currently we are not taking the score into account. All we are doing is we are just displaying the winner. So that's it. Now further we can do it like this. Cell.rect, instead of just making the rect of red color, we can just pass cell.color variable here that we have selected here, okay, using the if else. We can also display the text on the top of it like this, win.lit cell.text. So this is the image that we want to display, and then you have to pass the width and height where you want to display it. So we can do it like this: cell.rect.center x minus 5 and cell.rect.center y minus 7. So this should do the job, and let's try running it. The only thing left is to keep taking score into account. So if I just let's say currently player 1 is playing, so if 1 then 2 then 1 then 2, yes, so player 1 complete, so the box is of red color and it's saying oh, okay, it's not looking good. This one should be 1. Let's check for another box. Yes, so player 2, okay, it's working fine. So yes, then 2, and then now this time it's the chance of 1. Yes, so it's working fine. But just see, there's this dot appearing here, okay, on the top of our X. We don't want that, so we can fix it like this. You can just go there, okay, and you can check if the cell is not completed, then only we can show the this dot. If not, ccell.winner. If there's no value in the ccell.winner, then only we want to display this dot. That's it. Now this should work. The final thing that we have to think about is the score of the player. Okay, so we can, for that we can create two variables here, which will take the score in account. So we can do it like this: p1 score and p2 score. So p1 score, currently the score of p1 or player 1 is 0. p2 score is also 0. So we are just creating two variables and making their values 0. Okay. Now we can increase the value here. Currently we are checking if the player is the winner. Okay, the player, we are passing a x or o and checking if that player is the winner using the check-win method. Okay, so what we can do is in the check-win part we can do something like this. Okay, if this condition is true, if winner is, if cell.winner is equal to winner, then we can return 1. It means if the box is completed, we can return a value of 1. Okay, otherwise we will return a value of 0. So what this will do is, this will return a function, this will return a value from this method check-win, either 1 or 0. If 1 is being returned, it means the box is completed and someone is the winner, and if 0 is returned, it means the box is not completed, so no one is the winner. Okay, now what we can do is we can store this value in a variable result, okay, like this. And now we can check if this result, or we can check if the value of result is 1. Okay, if IF means if the value of result is 1 and not 0. So we can check if player is equal to x, we have to increase the value of player x. So p1 score should be increased by 1. Okay, else we have to increase the value of p2. So p2 score should be increased by 1. That's it. Now, yes, this is it. Finally, we can just display it in our string here. The string that we have taken. Sorry. P1 score. Let's pass P1 score here, and let's pass P2 score here. Okay, so we are again using the f strings to show these things. Just pass the f here, and this time if we play, this will also display the uh, scores. Okay, so player 1 value is score is 0, player 2 score is also 0. You can check for now. Yes, so the value of player 2 increased by 1, the score. Yes, again, this time also, so it looks good. Okay, so this is it for this video, guys. In the next tutorial we'll be completing the game by implementing the game over part. Okay, currently you can play as much as you want, but we have to think of some way by which this game can end. Okay, so this part we will be implementing in the next tutorial. Thank you. See you in the next tutorial.